Welcome to part 2 of my NC500 travel vlog, where I'm going to be taking my camper van from John O'Groats across the north coast of Scotland to Ullapool. If you have not yet caught up on part 1, then click the link and go ahead and watch that first, because that'll give you some context. Otherwise, here's what's coming up. Welcome to Friday, day 3 of the North Coast 500, and we are still here in John O'Groats, but the weather for the first time has started to turn and it's not been our friend. Well, overcast, although it is trying, it's trying to get a little bit of sun. So we've come to do the mega tourist thing right next to the campsite of the John O'Groats photo. And then we are going to hit the road. We've got a fair few hours in the car today to get all the way to Dunnet, is it? Yeah. Dunnet via Thurso and via some other bits. So basically we're going across the north coast of Scotland today, and we're going to cover a big chunk of that today. Good 2.5 hours probably of drive time. So yeah, so that should be awesome. And then here is the John O'Groats sign, which I think would have a nice backdrop of the sea if it wasn't so foggy. Instead, we've got a backdrop of some tourists. So today we're about to head off to Dunnet Point and Dunnet Beach. We may go to Castle of May, where the Queen Mother lived up until 1996. Royal fans. So we may or may not go and check that out. And then, yeah, Dunnet Point, I think it's called, or Dunnet Head. And that is officially the northernmost point on mainland Britain. So that feels like we should go there. And then Thurso, and then some beaches, and then Smoo Cave, hopefully, before we finish in Sango Sands, which is near Dunnet tonight, which should be stunning. I've got high hopes that that might just be the most picturesque of all the campsites so far. So, still no Highland cows. Bit disappointing. A few carvings of them, which is something, but we're still yet to see our full ones. So plenty of waterfalls, lots of castles, some better than others. Castle this morning possibly, bound to be a waterfall at some point this afternoon. Fingers crossed for some Highland cows. So we've just got here to the Castle of May, and whoops, and not even open. Doesn't open till 11 o'clock. So too early. This is what it looks like though. We're just gonna sneak in here anyway a little bit. There we go, that's what it looks like. And this was apparently, yeah, where the Queen Mother lived until 1996. And I suspect this view is a large part of the reason why. Pretty nice views on a clear day, I'm sure of that. And apparently it's got some really nice gardens. But we won't be looking around them because it's closed. So we have arrived at Dunnet Head, which is officially the northernmost point of mainland Great Britain, which is very exciting. And we've got a little viewpoint here, and then we've got a panorama spot that it recommends. And the viewpoint here apparently is very good for seeing birds. Can you remember what birds? Puffins. Puffins. Some gulls. Kittiwake, however you said it. Kitwake. I don't know how you say that. Huh? Who knows? And then there's a lighthouse. This lighthouse, which is automated. Very nice. Oh, and here's the birds down here. And some tourists, obviously. So that was Dunnet Head, which is the northernmost mainland point in the whole of Great Britain, on mainland Great Britain, which was pretty cool, wasn't it?
Very cool. Amazing view all the way around.
panoramic views, 360 all the way around, and thankfully the clouds and the fog have cleared a little bit, so we got a reasonable view. Not quite as good as we probably would have got earlier in the week, but still pretty good. So now we're going to head off to the beach and then to Thurso, onward. And we are in the northeast of North Scotland, and yes, beaches like this really do exist here. So I mean, it is pretty cool. No doubt nicer, as Michelle just pointed out, probably on a nice hot sunny day, which today is not. So we have just gone through Tongue, and we have thought we'd try and find somewhere nice to have a spot of lunch, and I think we found something quite special. Here is the view. How about that? Oh, look at that! Not bad for a view from the dash. Okay, so we pulled up again. We are just a few miles outside now of Smoo Cave we're headed to next. But thought we'd just pull over to get some more of the fantastic scenic views. It's been kind of mountainous, this part of the journey. It's been really cool, very different to what we saw yesterday. But we are still back now by the coast. Looks pretty fantastic. There is a zip wire, literally from here over there. However, it's weather dependent and doesn't seem to be running, sadly. Otherwise, probably would have had a go at that. So, yeah, don't really know what this area is called, but it's nice. So, okay, so undeterred by the rain, we have arrived at Smoo Cave viewpoint, which might be my favourite name for a place so far. The Mac is on, and the first can of Iron Brew of the trip. Fun fact, Scotland is one of the few countries in the world where Coca-Cola is not the best selling carbonated drink. Iron Brew, fact fans. At least I think that's the case. Could be an urban myth, who knows. Anyway, here's the first bit of the view. Ooh. Very good. Okay, this is a new channel first, I think. The first cave we've ever been in. Smoo Cave. Ooh. Oh, hello. You made it. We saw your car in the car park. Pretty cool waterfall. All right, that was Smoo Cave, and gotta say we really enjoyed that, didn't we?
Yeah, really.
One of our favourite stop-offs. And now we're just a couple of miles away from tonight's campsite, which is called Sango Sands. It's right on the beach, although to be fair, the John O'Groats one was also pretty close to the beach, but this is right on the beach. Yeah, it should be really spectacular. So we're gonna go there now and check in. So that was Balnakeil Beach, which we think might be our favourite so far. Dunnet Beach was our favourite at this point, but that might be the new one. And it's absolutely beautiful. You've got a huge sandy beach, not a soul on it. Beautiful blue water, not blue skies today, sadly, but you know, might be if you choose to come here one day. And actually, do you know what? Thus far, it's been an absolute dream. Even driving, the roads have been quiet. We had all these nightmare stories that the locals are angry toward tourists and people don't use the parking place at the passing places correctly, and the roads are gridlocked. Right, we've had none of that. The roads have been pretty much empty. even the single track roads today. And it's July, second week of July, and the Scottish kids' holidays have already started. Not yet in England, but they have in Scotland. And yeah, it is super quiet everywhere. I can imagine that with like 3x the traffic, I suspect that some of the services get stretched. A lot of the car parks would be absolutely chocker, because some of those have been full at some of the things we've stopped at, even though the roads have been quiet. And furthermore, everyone complains about the mid-Gs. We have not experienced any of that. Maybe it's not been hot enough, maybe it's been too damp. I don't know what the situation is with them, but we haven't had any of that. So all of like these stuff, the negatives that people had said about before we came, so far so good. And tonight is a halfway point, so this is the end of day 3 with 3 more days to go. So we have just checked in, and this might be our best pitch yet, as hoped. Here's the van, and here is our view. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Not bad. Anyway, this is the sort of beautiful scenery and beaches you can expect if you come and do the North Coast 500. I can't guarantee you'll necessarily get the weather, but oh my gosh, have a look at this. Seriously guys, this is the United Kingdom. This is Scotland of all places. Absolutely beautiful. Good morning and welcome to day 4, halfway point, and it's Saturday, and we've got up early at 6 for a slight detour, not on the typical NC500 route, because we've got to go do a park run. So we are going off to Alness, which is absolutely nowhere near where we're supposed to be, but that's just how it is. So we're up early. We hopefully should get there in plenty of time for the 9:30 start, and then the scenic route can continue. Excitingly, we've also just passed over the 1,000 mile mark on the odometer for the trip. So that feels like kind of a milestone as well. So we're going to celebrate said milestone by going and running around a 5k track. So see you at the start line. Right, that's park run done. A great success. Lovely little course out along the river, through some woods, along an airstrip. Oh, it had it all. That's now done, and now we're going to go and get back on the proper route. So we're going to see a famous bridge, Kylesku Bridge. Sounds famous. And then a waterfall, just because we haven't seen many waterfalls this week. And then a castle, because, you know, another castle.
Maybe a cow.
That's what we need to complete the set. We need some Highland coos. We still haven't seen any. Absolutely sensational. It's a bit overcast today, but the scenery has been amazing. And Michelle's now going to hit us up with some facts about the Kylesku Bridge, which you are going to see shortly.
So, it's one of the most iconic sites on the NC500, and it was opened in 1984 by the Queen.
The Queen.
It is 276 metres long.
That feels like quite a long bridge. Okay, so we've come just a couple of kilometres down the road and parked up for what is supposed to be one of the most spectacular waterfalls in the whole of the UK. So let's find out if it is. It's called, well, something Scottish, but colloquially the Weeping Widow Falls. Wailing Widow Falls, and it's supposed to be amazing. And this little route walking it is about the busiest we've seen so far, so I guess that's probably testament to its popularity. So here we go. Okay, so that was the Wailing Widow Falls, and that was amazing.
Amazing.
Probably our favourite bit of the trip maybe so far. Certainly our favourite waterfall, maybe our favourite thing altogether. It's a bit of a climb up there, sort of. It's quite uneven underfoot. Be difficult if you weren't mobile, probably impossible in a wheelchair. But outside of that, we managed to make it, and there are a few other people, weren't there, who were less mobile than us, crawling over the rocks if you take your time. Be difficult probably if it had been hammering down with rain, because we got a bit muddy and some of the rocks are a bit loose. And furthermore, it was actually really busy. It's as busiest as a thing that we've seen, isn't it? So I suspect in August you're going to be queuing to get your selfie in front of the steps, I suspect. Okay, so we have made it to Ullapool, and the time has finally come this week for some chippy chips. So that's where we're going right now. Some chips, and then to go and check in to our campsite afterwards, which we've already gone past, and quite frankly looks like it's going to be awesome. Much like the views so far, the campsites are getting better and better as we go, aren't they?
Yeah, amazing.
Amazing. Queue out the door, got to be a good sign.
That's not really fair.
Okay, so chips procured. What do we think?
The best.
The best. Wow. Decent fish and chips. Delicacy it was called. Recommended. Okay, so we've arrived at Ardmair Point for the penultimate Scottish campsite for this trip, and yeah, this is basically what our van is overlooking. I mean, it's not a bad little view again, and hopefully we might even get a bit of a sunset later, who knows. Welcome to the van. I thought I'd do a quick, welcome to the van video, because I haven't yet, so here we go. So welcome to the inside of the van. Let's just spin that round so you can see. Here's our bed that pulls out, a little kitchen, all mod cons, fridge, rotating captain's seat there, pretty decent view. The pop top is up, so that is what you can wake up to if you choose to sleep up here, which is also a double bed, but typically we tend to pull that one down there out and have that. And then we've also got these side ones, windows as well, and then you've got your hob and everything there. So yeah, everything you could need really. And as I say, right now we got a pretty stupendous view. Look at that, right on the beach. Smash in. That's it for part 2. I will see you in the third and final part of this series, where we explore the west coast and the famous Applecross Pass.